Okay, so we are gonna do a little studying over cell structure. So lesson 2, topic 2. All right, quiz tomorrow. So we've got parts of a cell, organelles. Organelles are all those little pieces inside a cell. So you've got, if we're talking about a plant cell starts with a wall, a cell wall, and then it has its membrane, and then it has all its organelles inside. It has all of the same organelles that an animal cell has, with the exception of one. Plant cell, like I said, has its cell wall so that nothing can go in and out, but it also has the stuff that makes it green, which are chloroplast. I hope you said chloroplast. All right, so a plant cell has chloroplast. I'm using Audrey's notes, so. All right, so remember, here's our parts of the cell. You need to know what each of these do. If you need to, go to the slides. Whenever you look on the slides, it'll have the little helpful hints. Like the Golgi apparatus is the UPS store, okay? It packs and ships everything, all right? And then remember the lysosomes. Those recycle things, okay? So they eat things up, they fix it, or they just change things to where they can be reused. All right, so looking at this plant cell, though, we see the cell wall, and then we see the membrane, which is right inside the cell wall. These, which are the chloroplast. That big gooey thing, which is also in the animal cell, that is the vacuole. The vacuole, if you remember, is like a storage unit. It's just a storage shed. It stores what? Waste, food, water. Okay? Then we've got our endoplasmic reticulum, the ER. That helps make the proteins. Remember right there? Now, what makes the proteins exactly? Oh, let's look one more time here. Remember, it looks like that, which is very similar to the Golgi apparatus. But this one, the ER, surrounds the nucleus. That's how you need to remember whenever you're trying to label. The ER surrounds the nucleus, whereas the Golgi apparatus does not. So moving back to the endoplasmic reticulum, the ER, it makes the proteins. What exactly are the proteins? What has the proteins? What's that organelle called? It's the ribosomes. So ribosomes are made in there. And then they are sent out. They're sent out into the Golgi apparatus, which packs them and ships them and gets them all ready to go out into the cell. Some stay in the cell. Some leave the cell. Some stay in the ER, okay? And then we've got our mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondria basically does all the big work. It's the rod-shaped structure. It's got the little squigglies inside of it. It converts energy in our food to energy that we can use. So it's like the powerhouse, okay? It makes things to where we can keep running. It makes it to where we can continue pushing on and puts our food into fuel, gives us our energy. And like I said, the powerhouse of the cell. Our lysosomes, I touched on that just a second ago. They're small, round organelles. They break down old cell parts to be used again. They break down large food particles to be able to be used properly. The nucleus. We didn't talk about that much whenever I was showing you these right here. Okay, the nucleus, as we know, are those big purple things, right? I can't do this backwards. There we go. Right there. So the big purple things are the nucleus. And those are basically the brain of the cell. It tells everybody what to do and how to do it. But if you remember, we have this little thing inside there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but if you have your notes, you can look. There's something else inside the nucleus. Do you remember what that is? Don't get it mixed up with the nucleus. What's inside the nucleus is the nucleolus. The nucleolus stores the DNA. Okay? The nucleus itself is surrounded by a nucleus envelope. Again, think of the cell as a full-on, like a city or a UPS station itself, because you've got your Golgi apparatus, which packs and ships and sends things out. You've got your nucleus envelope, which lets things go in and out, mostly like DNA, RNA, go out of the nucleus. You've got your lysosomes, which is the recycling center for everything. You've got your vacuole, which is just your little storage container. All right. Now, here's a big thing. Remember. Plant cells have two things that animal cells do not have. They are I can't hear you, so I hope you're saying it. Chloroplast, cell wall. Okay, so chloroplast and cell wall, we don't have those. We're not green, and we don't have cell wall. Okay, then let's see, what else? Ooh, working together. All cells work together. They work together in order to do the jobs, to help everything do a job more efficiently. So if you have, let's take the red blood cell. The red blood cell hands out oxygen to everybody. Well, I say everybody, all the organs, hands out oxygen because our bodies need oxygen. So it's going through, but the only way that the red blood cells can hand out oxygen is because of the heart cells. So if it weren't for the heart cells, the red blood cells couldn't do their job. If it weren't for the lung cells, the cells inside the lung, then we couldn't get the air. We couldn't do these things. So everything works together. Not one thing works alone unless it's unicellular. Unicellular works by itself. And if one thing messes up, say the mitochondria has a little glitch, then the whole thing's over. It just dies. But we, plants, animals, are multicellular. Multicellular means lots of cells, which then in turn means if one starts to slack or one messes up, it'll make another one. Or something will come along to help it out. Okay? Groups of the same cells make an organism. We don't need a whole lot on this one, so don't stress yourself out. You just need to know that groups of cells make an organ. A group of organs make an organism. Okay? And we'll touch on that later, not right now. And if you have any other... Ooh, I forgot one. The cytoplasm. That is another one. Cytoplasm is that gooey, plasma-like stuff that's inside the cell. It's all over it, and it lets the organelles just float around. Okay? You need to go through here. Don't just rely on this video to tell you everything that you need to know. This was just me touching on things, trying to explain it a little bit. If you have more questions, then get a hold of me through the class tag. Or some of you do have my number if you really need something. Let's see here. You need to know these. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow.